Okay, if we don't have any other questions, now I would like to introduce our new fiscal officer, Richard Fay, who will take a few minutes to give an overview of township finances. Rich was appointed to the position effective July 1st, 2025. He is a 1978 graduate from Kent State with an honors degree in accounting. Over Richard's 46-year career, he has worked at a number of local manufacturing and retail organizations, including McDermott International, LTV Steel, and Travel Centers of America. 2 years ago, Rich retired from Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company after 11 years as Senior Manager of Compliance and Investigations, where he led a global team responsible for financial investigations related to matters of fraud, bribery, and corruption within the organization. Rich and his wife Suzanne have lived in Hinckley since 2016. Rich?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'd like to take maybe 5 minutes if I could, given that we're a little bit ahead of schedule.
I got 5 minutes.
The reason that I basically applied for the position is we've lived in Hinckley for about 10 years or so, and my business experience, I felt that we wanted to give back to the community, and in thinking about how we could do that, I felt my background in accounting and auditing would be a good fit with respect to the township, and I'm very appreciative for the trustees who have appointed me as fiscal officer as of July 1st. I want to give you a little bit of background on what a fiscal officer does. Primarily, there's 4 major areas. Number 1 is we do payroll. We're responsible for paying everybody, approximately 55 of our employees, as well as the HR aspect of it, with new hires, pension, union, that kind of stuff. Second area is disbursements, paying bills, and that's not just supplier invoices, it's also withholding taxes, pensions, and I think what's critical there is making sure that those bills are paid on time and done so accurately, which I feel that we are now in a position where we're doing that. The third area is with respect to the budget. We're responsible to put together the budget each year, and then along with that is to monitor that budget, actual versus the budget, to make sure that our trustees are spending their money properly, wisely, and within that budget. And the fourth area, which is probably the biggest area, is what I would consider to be what my overall position is. I'm an elected official, and as a result of that, I am independent. I don't report to the trustees. I am independent. So it's my responsibility to not only ensure compliance with laws such as the Ohio Revised Code, but also to make sure what we spend money on, we're doing it accurately, properly documented, whether we get bids that are required, that we're doing the best with respect to your money. That collaboration, which is kind of the fourth aspect, is important. Even though I'm independent and I provide a check and balance of our trustees, I work with them on a daily and sometimes weekly basis. And that also applies to our department heads in service, fire, and police. And I've only worked with them for about 3 months now, but I am very pleased, if that's the right word. They all treat your money like it's their money. And it's amazing how they'll look at what they want to spend and look at, is it the best for the township? Is it the cheapest? Is it the most efficient? Is it the most effective? And I've already heard stories where they'll come forward and say, we have a better way to do this. A couple of years ago, the service department, we used to mow the grass at the cemetery and the township halls, etc. We used a vendor. And the service department came back and said, you know what, we can do that ourselves. And the result was we ended up saving the township several thousands of dollars doing it that way. And I see that being done on almost a weekly basis, where they're looking for ways to spend your money as wisely as possible. And I think that's a good thing, that they treat your money like it's their money, okay? I wanted to also spend a couple minutes talking about just in general, the finance, which is kind of what the question was. With respect to our finances, we just recently got our estimated tax revenues for 2026. And we still have to work through and finalize the budget. But basically, that number is $4.4 million of tax money that we receive, broken up in three primary areas. Our fire gets about $1.2 million, and that's from 4 levies that have been passed by the voters between 1987 and 2022. The general property tax, which is about $1.6 million, and it is around 16% of the total general property taxes that you're invoiced or billed. The primary amount goes to schools. There's also quite a bit that goes to joint vocational as well as the park system. And with that $1.6 million, we use it for our general admin and roads and bridges. And as mentioned, we're one of the largest townships in Medina. So a majority of that money, I would say close to $1 million or more, goes to the roads and bridges. The third area is the police, and the budget for 2026 will be $1.6 million and change somewhere in there. And that's from 4 levies that were passed by the voters between 1983 and 2001. And if you think about that, that's over 25 years ago the last levy was passed. And what's unique about those police levies is that they're what I would consider to be permanent, which means the amount of money we receive from those levies pretty much stays the same every year. And if you think about it, property values from the 1980s and 1990s, to give you an example, in 2015, the total value of appraised property in Hinckley was roughly $308 million. That's resident, business, etc. And in 2024, it was $524 million, roughly a 70% increase in the value of your property. And because those police levies are permanent, the value we receive for the police levies stayed relatively the same. They do not increase with the value of the land. Basically, the only way they increase is through the actual construction of new homes. But that's an important point. And it goes back to what I said earlier about collaboration, because our trustees and the department heads do a fantastic job, I think, in really looking at how they're spending your money. And given the finances are tight, I think they have done, and I've only been there 3 months, but I think they've done an excellent job. I want to thank everybody for giving me a couple minutes to speak. My email address and phone number is on the website. Please, anytime you have a question, feel free to reach out to me. If I don't know the answer, and there's a lot that I don't know yet, I'll get that answer and get back to you as quickly as I can. Again, thank you very much.